Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a blessed Sunday. And in the news this morning, taxi operator injured, 2 alleged attackers in custody following robbery. A taxi operator and one of 3 men who allegedly robbed him along Roosevelt Avenue, Kingston 6 on Saturday are now in hospital after they were both shot and injured during the incident. The police say a firearm and several rounds of ammunition were also seized, while another of the alleged assailants is behind the bars. The stadium police say about 12:15 a.m., 3 men posing as passengers boarded the taxi operator's vehicle and proceeded to rob him. It is further reported that during the incident, a struggle ensued, which led to the taxi operator and one of his attackers receiving gunshot injuries before they abandoned him at the vehicle. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, they discovered the injured taxi operator and assisted him to the hospital for treatment. A search of the area reportedly led to the discovery of the injured gunman and one of his accomplices. A Sig Sauer 9mm pistol, affixed with a magazine containing 11 cartridges, was also recovered. The injured man was transported to the hospital, where he is being treated under police guard, and the other was taken into custody. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Man fatally stabbed in Ocho Rios. The police in Ocho Rios, St. Anne are probing the fatal stabbing of a man in the town on Friday evening. The deceased has been identified as a 30-year-old Otis Henry, otherwise called Tissy, of Main Street, Pineapple Place, Ocho Rios. Henry was reportedly attacked and stabbed along Market Street, Ocho Rios, about 7 p.m. He later succumbed to his injuries. Bloody love triangle night fight between men in Clarendon. 33-year-old Andre Main, a farmer of Savannah District in his Clarendon, has been charged with wounding with intent following an incident in his community on Saturday, July 6. According to reports from the Hazel police, about 8:30 p.m., Main visited a woman's house in the community and saw another man there. On seeing the other man, Main allegedly brandished a ratchet knife and stabbed the other man several times. During the melee, the other man reportedly used a machete to chop Main, resulting in him fleeing the scene. A report was made to the police, and the Main was taken into custody and later charged. 13-year-old girl goes missing from St. Andrew home. An ANANDA alert has been activated for 13-year-old Ashley Wilson of Two River District, Cavaliers in St. Andrew, who has been missing since Friday, July 12. She is of dark complexion, slim build, and about 165 centimeters or 5 feet 5 inches tall. Reports from the Lawrence Tavern Police are that about 10:30 a.m., Ashley was last seen at home wearing a purple top, jeans, pants, and a pair of purple slippers. She has not been heard from since. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Ashley Wilson is asked to contact the Lawrence Tavern Police at 876-942-6322, 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Clarendon given false hope ahead of Beryl Saints councillor. Councillor Cian Barneswell of the People's National Party Hayes Division has thrown cold water on the government's narrative that Clarendon, one of the worst affected parishes, was adequately prepared for Hurricane Beryl. Speaking during Thursday's monthly meeting of the parish's municipal corporation, he argued that much publicized drain cleaning before the hurricane gave residents a sense of false hope, which was shattered immediately after Beryl passed. I would have seen my member of parliament doing some remedial work in some areas, which was to clean a partial drain here, partial drain there, and not to clean the entire drain. But yet still, we give the impression, I don't know who is posting this misinformation on social media, that drains are being cleaned, said Barneswell, the MP for Clarendon Southeastern, in which his division falls in Pernell Charles Jr., the Minister of Labour and Social Security. Truth and in fact, Chairman is just a part of the drain that is being cleaned, so it's a false sense of security that is being given to the residents for whoever saw it and said, "Yes, I will be protected." But here comes the rain after the dry hurricane, and those same persons who were saying, "Thank you, God, for sparing me," are now complaining that these unclean drains caused their house to be flooded and they lost many of their livestock, particularly those who raise poultry, Barneswell added. Unimpressed with the work done by central government ahead of the natural disaster, he wants money allocated to councillors to help with hurricane recovery. He has questioned why MPs are allocated financial resources to help their constituents, but councillors are not given the same opportunity to help people in their divisions. Money is given again to members of parliament to respond to some persons with damage to their house, and there's nothing for councillors. MPs will get between $13 million to $15 million. Councillors is $0. What happened to councillors? Barneswell griped. He is of the view that he and his peers are better suited to help residents as they are more familiar with their needs. We are first responders. People see us each and every day more than they see their MP. We know what is happening. We know where the damage is. We know the people who are suffering, but yet still we have nothing to say to them. How we can be able to respond to them and assist them, he asked. The locally elected official said he wants to see equity and fairness in the distribution of monetary aid. As a second tier of government, we need to be treated with the same kind of respect as the Member of Parliament by making financial resources available through the municipal corporation so that the councillors can be able to assist the people in their respective divisions, Barneswell insisted. Also during the meeting, several councillors reported that many of their constituents had to take shelter at educational institutions, many of which were damaged. Barneswell called for further assessment to be done to determine the extent of the destruction that occurred and the type of help that can be provided. I think the welfare unit of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security needs more volunteers to go house by house to check on the damage. Many persons would have tacked on back tangled zinc on their house just to provide some level of shelter and comfort for them, but whenever it rains, those houses will certainly leak. The people are wondering if they will be given some assistance to replace those damaged zinc sheets that they have, or will they be bypassed, he stated. Barneswell is also calling for a disaster logistics coordinator within the municipal corporation to work alongside the various state agencies. Senator Morris calls for a special fund to fix homes damaged by burial. As many Jamaicans struggle to deal with the challenges brought on by the destructive force of Hurricane Beryl, opposition spokesman on housing and sustainable living, Professor Floyd Morris, is calling for a special fund to be established to assist the residents whose homes have been partially or totally destroyed by the storm. Hurricane Beryl has left many homeless in several parishes, particularly those along the southern coast of the country. According to Senator Morris, Hurricane Beryl did extensive damage or destroyed the homes of thousands of residents across the island. He said the devastation comes at a time when many are experiencing major economic challenges. According to Morris, the government should lead the recovery process by establishing a special fund to assist affected residents in rebuilding their homes. Some of the drawdowns from the various contingency sources for natural disasters should be used to establish this special fund, he added. Further, Morris is urging the government to engage organizations such as the Red Cross, the Adventist Disaster Relief Agency, and the similar non-governmental organizations to conduct the assessment of damage to homes of residents and for them to make the necessary recommendation of assistance to be given. The recommended names and amounts of assistance should be given to designated hardware stores in communities for distribution once the government completes its review and approval. The hardware stores would then be paid from the Special Housing Fund, Morris explained. He stressed the need for fairness and transparency in the recovery efforts, saying we must ensure that the recovery efforts are fair and transparent, and that only those affected by Hurricane Beryl receive the benefits. The opposition senator also suggested that general consumption tax on construction materials purchased by residents receiving housing support should be waived. It makes no sense for the government to provide housing assistance and then deduct 15% from it. This reduces the assistance being given, and one must remember that the beneficiaries will also have to find the funds to pay for transportation of materials. Therefore, waiving the GCT is common sense, he argued. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.